Hi, this is Adam Horton. Welcome back to the next video in the Arc Nova video tutorial series. This video is about the best cards in the game and why they're good. First thing I'm going to say is anything that supports a base conservation project is going to have a lot of extra value for that game. So you'll want to be contesting cards that back those projects because they'll be valuable to you, and also there's value in denying them to your opponent. Aside from that, let's talk about some cards. First, I'm going to talk about rhinos. Rhinos are great. You're almost always going to be able to back either species diversity or habitat diversity with this without really trying. And sometimes you can do even better. Sometimes you just naturally have a bunch of stuff your opponent doesn't, and you can get 5 CP, and they don't even get a chance to do much with that project. Rhinos are good enough that I would keep them in the opener most of the time. They're that good. Let's talk about elephants. Many people consider elephants to be really powerful cards that need to be contested. The thing is, they're really expensive. In my opinion, they're really only super good if you want the 2 Asia tags or the Africa tags for a project. Then they're quite good. Or if you want just a really big end game animal. You had a bunch of money and you want something big you can play. Or somehow you have enough money to play one in the mid game, that can often be good because it gives you time to work towards that second final scoring card that you get and get a little more value out of it. That's what elephants are good for the most part. Let's look at a few more of the best animals. The attacks, Pilfering and Constriction, are quite potent. Pilfering, if you can get it to happen at all, is just going to be really solid. Constriction, you have to find the right spot for it, but particularly in the end game. Constriction can just absolutely wreck your opponent, or even in the mid game. Sometimes it's just back-breaking to get constricted. So look to make your opponent's life really hard with constriction, and you can cause some real damage. New Zealand fur seal, this animal's fantastic. The extra worker and the ability to play this relatively early in the game is just super great. Unless you've already taken the map bonus worker, chances are this animal is just going to be really, really good. Also, iconic animals just tend to be really efficient. I mean, they're animals with requirements, but they just tend to be relatively cheap for how many tickets they can get you. Even in a 2-player game, you're going to find yourself getting a lot of these continent tags that are relevant. Animals that go along with breeding programs or that are good releases, meaning that they're large sized animals that don't give you that much appeal. Those are always going to be really good. So just be on the lookout for those. Normally you want 2 pieces to put together, but like I will frequently keep a breeding program early in the game, just hoping to find something to go with it. And if you find releases, they're pretty good to hold on to because then you can, if you find an appropriate animal, there's a pretty big upside. So a lot of times those are worth hanging on to. Let's talk about the best sponsors in the game. These 3 cards, Science Lab, Talented Communicator, and Explorer, these are by far the 3 best sponsors in the game, arguably the 3 best cards in the game. At least they're up there. Just having one of these cards by itself is enough reason to upgrade sponsors, almost all of the time. Science Lab can give you a ton of points in the end of the game, and just getting a bunch of cards is really great for the same reason that Snapping Income is good. Talented Communicator, it gives you a worker. It's possible to play really early. It's just really solid. And Explorer is a big stack of cash if you can play it early. It's also tickets that come with it. These cards are incredibly powerful. They're worth contesting. They're worth upgrading the sponsors card for. They're that good. Let's talk about some sponsors that are really good early in the game. A lot of them have income effects, federal grants, money income, super great. X token income for Technology Institute, also really solid. And endgame conditions that are not super hard to meet some of the time. Archaeologist is good early because hopefully you haven't covered up all of your border bonus spaces, so you can get some value out of this. And Foreign Institute is quite good early in the game, but really anything that gives you reputation early in the game, so like Zoo School or even animals that give you reputation, these, along with taking universities early, are a great way to get to 8 reputation as early as the second break, sometimes the first break if you have multiple of these cards. So reputation early on, helping you hit 5 to get an upgrade, and then 8 to get your second worker that way, is a really solid choice, and they're definitely worth playing around in the early game. Also, sponsors that make you money are great in the early game. Federal Grants is one of them, but the species specialists, the experts, the ornithologists, the expert in whatever species, if they back a conservation project, I mean, they're some of the best cards in the game, but really any of them early on in the game have enough upside that they're relatively good. Side Entrance is probably one of the best sponsors in the game. I mean, it's not like those top 3, but you don't even have to upgrade sponsors to play it. It's one of the best cards in the game. It's capable of giving you so much income over the course of the game that you're gonna be so much better off than your opponent. You're gonna have so much money. Geologists and hydrologists, they're good late game because they can give you tickets, but early game they make you money. They're just solid to play at any point in the game. And then sponsors that give points, they're good really any time, but especially the ones like Cable Car and Aquarium, or the ones that give you points for having lots of species like Penguin Pool and those other ones. Those are really good to play early in the game because obviously you can get more points out of them. And then to look for cards that match those requirements. Other sponsors, native farm animals in particular, is much better than a lot of the other native cards. The other native cards can be good. They're a little bit situational, but a lot of them can be good, with the exception of Free Range New World Monkeys. That's just a bad card. But all the other native sponsor cards, they can be good. But native farm animals has just a ridiculous upside. You really aren't capped by much. You're capped by border spaces on your map that you can get to. So that can be like 20 tickets. And you can also get a respectable amount of endgame CP with that card. And it's not like bending over backwards like some of the other native cards. So watch out for native farm animals. It's really solid. Expert in small animals is great late game because it's tickets. It's great early game because it's going to save you a lot of money. Expert in large animals, not the case. Not nearly as good. And then Science Library, it's another one of those. If it's early, it's money, it's what you want. If it's late, it's point, it's what you want. And then the endgame CP is usually pretty easy to get. Wasn't that like most of the sponsors in the game? Man, sponsors must be really good. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the best cards in the game. Find them, play them, score a lot of points, do good stuff. Thanks for watching.